that allows precision shots to penetrate through targets. That is the Marxa, M-Bar, long shot, and I guess torque bow. I think it works on the torque bow too. Those are the precision rifle weapons, or precision weapons. He's got an ultimate that is just walls. You can see and shoot through walls, and each wall that you shoot through is a times of damage. If you shoot through one wall, it will just do, normal damage. And then if you shoot through two walls, it's double, three walls, triple, four walls, four times, and that allows you to have the potential to one-shot wardens and do a lot of damage to things like carriers. Like you can actually solo carriers without too much hassle. Going into cards, I like to use long shot handling, but you could most definitely use Icy Precision. Icy Precision is amazing for boss kills. Every hit does 34% freeze damage, so like that's the percentage of how frozen they are per hit. You can't freeze enemies with the M-Bar or the long shot. You can only freeze with the Marxa. It's kind of dumb. You can freeze with the long shot if they are shots through your ultimate. Sometimes when you shoot a warden with an active reload long shot in your ult, you will just shoot them and they'll be frozen. Or sometimes you'll shoot just a normal drone and they'll freeze and die in the same moment, and then because they're frozen they take more damage, and it allows you to basically one tap a stump. I have a clip of that. Going into the rest of the cards, explosive critical hit. So it says that 85 or kills cause 85% explosions. So that's 85% of however much damage you did as an explosion. Pretty simple. So like the more damage you do, the more damage this explosion will do. Exploit weakness, just 55% crit damage. Modified long shot, 30% long shot damage. Ambush, 100% damage to targets above 90% health. So with this card, enemies that just sit in barriers, you can hit them and then have that 100% bonus. Enemies that just spawn in while you're in your ultimate, you'll have this double damage bonus. So you have 155, 185% increased damage just from your cards. And then these get stacked up because of your ultimate passive of doing the multiple times damage for each wall, which is pretty good, amazing. Critical Parade, X-ray critical kills extend the duration by 25%. So you get one kill, that's a quarter back. You get 4 kills, that's all of your duration back. It's a pretty good card. Like, you could have the ult last the whole wave, potentially more than one wave if you're paired with a veteran for legitimate hacks, because Vet gives you aimbot and you can shoot through walls. Modified M-Bar, you could definitely use this instead of the long shot, and you can use an M-Bar. I don't particularly like it because for some reason I'm just not a fan of the M-Bar on Marksman. Like, I never touched the long shot on robotics, but on Marksman I can't use the M-Bar, so that's kind of funny. Well, I can, it's just, I don't know why, it just feels weird. Patience, it says 210%, but I heard that it was less than that. Still an okay card. The main use for this is an escape on Gatekeepers. On Gatekeepers, you have several moments where you could just wait and then get your ult back and shoot whatever's ahead, like the Swarmlock. I wouldn't really use this card in Horde, especially not on like 90% of the maps, because you're just gonna get shot once and then you have to wait 2 minutes to get this recharge. And then Marksman gets his ult back super quick anyway, so you really don't need patience, but I suppose if you're not getting shot while you're leveling Marksman up, it's an okay card to use. Counter Snipe, garbage, it just doesn't matter. They do so much damage on Master that this does nothing for you. M-Bar, Ammo Cap, you could definitely use this card if you wanted to. Like you could take off the explosion, or like where, for me, I could take off icy precision and put on M-bar ammo capacity, and take off the long shot card for the M-bar card, and then you could have a good amount of ammo for the M-bar and have increased damage with it, and then have an M-bar build going. But you really don't need this because Marksman has ammo capacity as a perk, which I'll go into all 4 of those perks in a moment. Master Marksman is just a bad card. All of these most of these larger active reload bar cards are just garbage because they don't give reload speed with them. So then you just get used to a super big bar, and then you can't really hit the normal bar. So this card is more of a hindrance than, helpful. So don't use these. Steady Hand. You could definitely put this card on, but honestly, I feel like, it's kind of a decent challenge with the screen shake. And also you get used to default screen shake. So if you're used to shooting, getting shot at by an elite drone and then shooting his head off while he's shooting you, like you get used to that screen bounce. So then putting this on kind of makes it a little weird, and then you have to get used to this. And then if you take it off, you're gonna have to get used to the base. So it's a little iffy on this card. Can use it. You could not use it. It's up to you. If you're looking to improve your shots with the long shot or the M-bar, I recommend you turn your aim assist off. And then if you want to be a degenerate, you could turn it back on, and then it's like you're hacking. You just hit so many shots when you turn it back on. It's crazy. But I like to leave mine off. And then what I like to do is I also like to use this Jin skin, because this Jin skin says, I assure you no aim assist. So I like that. Another good one is Min, because he says for the cog, but he pronounces his G's a little differently. So instead of saying for the cog, he says for the cock. Whenever he active reloads, he also might say feel the power of the cock. So Min's a fun one, especially because whenever you hit your ult, he says feel the power of the cock, or for the cock. Going into the perks, Marksman has ammo capacity, precision rifle damage, critical damage, and damage feedback. The main perk you want to do is just your ammo cap, so then you can keep shooting. I suggest having it at a 5, and then once you get it to a 5, get your damage up. And if you have your precision rifle damage high enough with modified long shot, you will one tap juvies to the body the whole game, active reload of course, which is nice because juvies heads can be quite annoying sometimes, and then sometimes you'll just headshot them all day, and then it's like, well, I don't even have to have modified long shot or as much into the perk, but for consistency, you want to have it just so you one tap juvies. Then with the damage feedback, you get your ultimate back so crazy fast, because the way you get your ult back in this game, it's based off of how much damage you did within a hit, and then how much health they have, and then if you did all of their health, that is a certain amount. A drone will give you a little bit of ult, a scion will give you a bunch of ult because you just did so much damage. And then the explosion, you kill something and then everything around it pretty much dies. So then you get a lot of ultimate, especially with the perk damage feedback. But I would do damage feedback last, because if you use the explosion, you're gonna get it back fast without it. So just do your ammo and then have your precision rifle damage and crit damage at a 1-1 ratio, so then you get the same amount of damage percentage per perk level, while keeping that power spent lower. And just hit your headshots, practice marksman, and stay back. You know, you're very squishy, and you're supposed to shoot enemies down range. That's about it for Marksman.